From Beam Media in Dallas, Texas, this is The Jack Attack. Today I want to talk about two films that I saw recently on Netflix, and they were Io and Velvet Buzzsaw. And Io and Velvet Buzzsaw shared one thing in common, and that is that the trailers for them on Netflix basically tricked me into watching them. Both trailers for both of these films gave me a drastically different impression of what the film was than what I actually saw. And so let me begin by talking about the film Io. The premise is that Earth has basically become completely toxic and life is no longer sustainable on most parts of the Earth, and so humanity has left Earth to live on a space station near Io. And that's where the film gets its name. But the film doesn't take place on this space station or Io. It takes place on Earth. And it's about one character named Sam who has stayed on Earth because she's a scientist, and she figures if she does enough research, she can figure out how to make Earth livable again. And so that's sort of her goal in staying on Earth. And that's it. That's the whole movie. Eventually another guy shows up and he's like, yeah, I'm going to the last shuttle leaving Earth and you're coming with me. Just on the surface level, the film was, pretty boring. It was semi-compelling, but not very compelling. I found myself quickly wanting to quit it. But what I actually want to address is not the film itself or a review of the film. I want to talk about the trailer. So the trailer, when I saw it, looked very compelling. And in the trailer, there is mention of the toxic zone. And it was really exciting to hear about this toxic zone. And the trailer made it look like the character Sam and this other man that she meets later on named Micah had to travel through the toxic zone on a journey. That's what got me. That's what got me interested. Because Netflix also has a TV series called The Rain. And The Rain is a story about a toxic Earth, and characters are making a journey through the toxic Earth to try to find a non-toxic part of the Earth. And so I basically thought this was going to be like the TV series The Rain, but in movie form, and so it would actually have a conclusion and not a cliffhanger at the end of it all. And that's what I was expecting, but only to be met with disappointment when I saw the actual film. Yeah, there is a journey into the toxic zone in the movie, but it's not a journey through the toxic zone, and it's not very much of the movie. Like, when they were in the toxic zone, there was no real danger presented to the characters. They were just sort of there. In fact, the most dangerous thing that happened to the characters in the toxic zone is that Sam just wanted to stay longer, and so there was some risk of her running out of air. And that was my disappointment at the film Io. Alright, so the next film I wanted to talk about is Velvet Buzzsaw. Now, Io didn't really have any star power or big names behind it or anything like that, but Velvet Buzzsaw is very different. So Velvet Buzzsaw stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Rene Russo, of Nightcrawler fame. And in fact, it was directed by director of Nightcrawler, Dan Gilroy. So Velvet Buzzsaw was, it's not necessarily a high-budget blockbuster type film, but it's got names behind it. And so, with something like that, can we expect a good film? Yeah, it was a pretty good film. I'll sit down here and say it was a pretty good film. But again, what I'm actually addressing is the trailer. So I saw the trailer for Velvet Buzzsaw, and I was kind of questioning it. There was a movie called Velvet Buzzsaw, and it's about art or whatever. I'm like, I don't really care to watch a film about art. Film is already considered an art, so art making a commentary on art, it starts getting pretentious, and that's what I thought maybe it was going to be until I saw the trailer. And then the trailer actually made it pretty clear that it was a slasher film, where the antagonist wasn't necessarily a supernatural creature or a psycho or otherwise homicidal maniac. The slasher was art itself, these art pieces that were found in this guy's apartment. And the trailer showed kills. It showed various kills, and so I'm like, oh yeah, this will be a good slasher film. I enjoy a good slasher film from time to time, and this is obviously an interesting take on it because it's artwork doing the slashing. I mean, it's not the first film. It's not the first film that has treated art in such a way, but it's like, I mean, I've seen, 10 or 11 Friday the 13th movies, and they're all basically the same. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. You know, slasher films are always fun on Saturday night. So I watch it. And the problem with this film is that every single kill in this movie was in the trailer. Every single one of them. Every kill. Like now, I was using a bit of hyperbole there, but only a bit. There's actually one kill in the film that isn't either flat out shown or mostly alluded to in the trailer. When we go to watch a slasher film, do we care about the plot? No. The plot serves to get us to the next kill. That's what the plot of a slasher film does. And so, yeah, the trailer doesn't give away the whole plot of this film, but it gives away everything else that matters in this film. I mean, here's the biggest case in point that I want to bring up. There is this art piece featured in the trailer of this sort of dome-shaped thing. This lady sticks her arm in it. And like, well, you know from the trailer that the thing's going to kill her. So when this lady approaches the thing in the movie, you already know what's going to happen. At the end of it, I felt like I completely wasted my time watching it because I already knew every single kill that was going to happen. So I guess I just want to close by saying that I think Netflix is making a mistake with their trailers. I mean, their marketing department is doing a really good job in making compelling trailers, but with these films, I've been being tricked into watching them. I've been disappointed, and not just on these two films, but on other films as well. I'm already hesitant to watch a film on Netflix where I've seen the trailer because at this point, it's like, I don't think that what the film is what is represented in the trailer, and I'm going to end up being disappointed. Unless the marketing improves to actually give people a clear indication of what they're going to be watching, the viewership of Netflix original films is quickly going to drop off. This has been The Jack Attack. I'm Jack Everett. Thanks for watching.